Attorney General of the Federation testifies before House Ad Hoc Committee on sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil. National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies advocates improved inclusiveness in Nigeria's political system. And Delta Rep throws hat in the ring for Deputy Speaker of 10th House. Aspirants for principal offices in the 10th House of Representatives continue to lobby as the majority All Progressives Congress keeps them guessing. Hello and welcome to you and your reps on the NTA. I am Victor Azo. Thank you for joining us. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, says his office is not a signatory or coordinator of all funds accruing to recovery accounts from the whistleblower policy. The minister made the clarification when he appeared before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating alleged loss of revenue from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil.
For the fourth time, this committee is back to its assignment. The Attorney General of the Federation is here on the invitation of the committee. First was the clarification that his office remains an only enabler of the whistleblower policy and not a custodian of the asset recovery account of the federal government. Testifying further, the AGF submitted that based on the available evidence, including the preliminary assessment of the matter by an advisory committee set up by President Buhari, the allegation of a purported sale of 48 million barrels of crude in China was baseless.
Mr. Chairman, arising from paragraph 8 of the content of the committee's letter was the Attorney General acted, perhaps out of good faith, simply because these purported individuals approached the committee seeking for justice. I rushed now to use the instrumentality of justice to stop them. And that is what I'm responding clearly and categorically. It was a case that was filed in 2019. Two, these people are indeed standing trials and being charged to court. So the idea of approaching the committee was indeed an afterthought by them. And then three, the actions of the Attorney General, Mr. Chairman, were never by any stretch of imagination informed or influenced by the invitation of the committee, but it was indeed a work in progress relating to a matter that has been pending in court as far back as 2019.
Everything you have said here, everybody, including the press, is convinced that we did not just pick this investigative hearing from the street and constituted the committee that we must look into it. They emanated from somewhere.
The AGF equally debunked alleged intimidation of the concerned whistleblowers, emphasizing that their investigation and prosecution predate the intervention by the legislators.
A research on political parties' activities by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in collaboration with the Westminster Foundation for Democracy is making a strong case before the National Assembly for more representation of women, youths and people with disability in the political space. Now, this was during formal presentation of the report in Abuja.
The 18-month research appraised 18 political parties that participated in the 2023 general elections, with 12 states randomly selected across the 6 geopolitical zones. The findings revealed that political parties are inclusive only on paper but not in reality. The parties have no membership register for this group of people, and where members are included, they abandon their primary constituency to join a elitist group.
Now thinking of empowering the other women who help them there so that they garner the kind of strength that is required to multiply their participation in the party activities, you hardly find them again in the midst of others.
Partners on the research project speak on what informed the study.
The most populous country in Africa must therefore provide the needed leadership to other African countries on the merit of a democratic system that is inclusive, accommodative, and focused on the best interests of citizens rather than the interests and the egos of some few individuals.
The effort at advancing democracy is a continuum.
And democratic processes, this is very important. They are not only for the strong for the loud and the visible ones.
Going forward, recommendations target a legislation stipulating minimum number of women, youth and people with disabilities, while INEC ensures mechanism for full implementation.
It is not enough that a political party submit the list of its registered members to INEC at least 30 days before the election, but also separately, please submit the list of persons living with disability.
Some of the political parties are trying their best. Some of them are very, very far. And we need to bring all of them to realize that importance.
Copies of the research were shared to all stakeholders at the event.
And Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Power, Francis Ejirogene Waive, says he has learnt the ropes and is ready to lead from the front in the 10th Assembly. The member who represents Ugeli and Udu Federal Constituency of Delta State is aspiring for the position of Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives.
My first desire for the 10th Assembly is for a leadership that understands that if you are in leadership, you are just first or second among equals. That's a very crucial thing for me. The difference should not be like the difference between heaven and hell. It should be first, second among equals. There should be some balance and that kind of thing. That's what I'm looking forward to in the 10th Assembly. For all those who are jostling now, I look at all the names. There are a number who are very knowledgeable. They know the rules of the House, and there are a number who are quite serious, and I'm glad about that. Of course, there will be a few who are looking for something else, but you'll find a way to it, you know. So for me, I'm running for Deputy Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. And I look at that position first from its functions. The Deputy Speaker is the chairman of the Committee of the Whole, except of course, when the Committee of the Whole is the Committee of Supplies, where the Speaker is chairman. So you are able to go through clause by clause consideration of bills that have gone through first and second reading and committee work, public hearing. It comes back to that deck. So you're able to look at the nitty-gritty in detail, each clause of the law, so that what is coming out will be clean and acceptable, and will be the intent of those who propose the law, and also that will serve Nigerians and mature our democracy. I specifically like that role, and I want to perform it. And I want to perform it with all sense of responsibility. Because one of the things we lack in our country, sadly, is people owning up to people being responsible for something. It's like everybody's business. It's nobody's business. Boy, if the buck stops at my table, it stops at my table. If there's a mistake in it, it is my mistake. You know, I want to contribute to national development. I believe that we can't just leave our country to run our work. We need people who have a sense of belonging to the nation and who also believe that we can do better. We can do better in terms of administration, of human and material resources. We can do better in terms of getting the best of leaders, because we do have them. The worst of us can be our leaders always. They are the best of us. They should come out and join the leadership train. So I'm looking forward to the 10th Assembly, where I'll be able to contribute my quota, where Nigerians will be able to be proud of their National Assembly, of their House of Representatives. Because at the end of the day, it's theirs. They voted us in. Other than when I'm away on oversight visits, I'm always present in chambers, either in plenary or committee And I've served in several committees, ad hoc and statutory committees. And if you ask, I'm an active member in every committee that I belong to. So I've learned the ropes. In addition to that, I'm in the present graduating class of the Masters in Legislative Studies of the Nigerian Institute of, the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. So I'm very prepared for the task. I know my onions. I'm not one of the newbies. In fact, maybe that's why the rule says there are rules of the house, so you must be ranking so that you know how the business of the house is conducted. You gain experience by your devotion to duty, by your attention to detail, your knowing that this is your primary responsibility and you face it. The code of conduct permits only farming, maybe subsistence farming. And for me, that is good. So I face my job and I make sure I do it very well. That's one reason my constituents are proud of me. They know that I'm always there for them. And I'm not just present, I'm speaking. I'm speaking for my people. I'm a member of the House of Representatives. If the speakership is zoned to the South, and I'm a member of the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, my brother, I've got to just step up. That's just what it means. Because you now need to look at us who are from that zone, who it has been zoned to, and we come to a compromise. You know, I'm a party man. The APC have given me the opportunity to run once and again. I'm going to remain faithful to the party. I don't like what happened in 2015 when thereafter this country would not have a budget for 6 months. And it is the country that suffered, it's the economy, it's the common man. People who don't understand it were celebrating that the legislature and the executive were in a fight. And it was good to watch, like watching wrestling on television. But they don't look at the impact it had on the economy, how things suffered. In America, that would bring a government shutdown if you don't have a budget for even a short number of days or weeks. Not talk about 6 months. No, that kind of thing will not happen again in our country. So some of us are going to be good party men. We are going to listen to the zoning formula of our party, and we believe that our party will not leave our zone, the south of this country. No, because one, we have increased what we brought in from 2015, 2019, 2023. We keep improving what we have brought in to the APC. You know, we have a governor now. The number of our senators have increased, although ranking is just one. But do we want that one, we as people of the South? Do we want that one to represent our interests? That becomes an issue. You know, so we'd prefer a situation where we have a number to choose from. And that is in the House of Representatives, where we have quite a good number of APC ranking members, and not just you talking about Senate where we have no option.
Elsewhere, the only female contender for speakership of the 10th House so far and chair of the House Committee on Disabilities and Special Needs, Miriam Onoha says she seeks to unite members and advance legislative agenda that will stand the test of time.
I intend to bring to the House my wealth of experience coming from the private sector, where I was an employer of labor and been a management development consultant. And I've been able to identify gaps in our everyday life. So I will be bringing in those experiences and a focused mindset of a leadership that has a human face. It will gladden the hearts and minds of Nigerians to have a 10th Assembly that will have a build and make up of diversity and inclusivity, which I will bring on the table. I am a youth. I am qualified. I've been tested, trusted. I am credible. I come from a background where it was increasingly difficult to make it back to the House of Reps. The many winds that blew at that election, in my own case and from the Southeast, it was the Labour wind. I survived it. And that could also be due to my love for my people and people-oriented programs that I've been able to do. But beyond all of that, I'd like to see a house where the unity and development of Nigeria is at the front burner, where members who have come from different constituencies and representing the interests and opinions of their people are able to do their business in the house without conflicts. And so I deploy a cutting-edge technology to ensure that business of the house, listing of bills and motions are done in a seamless manner, that there is no rancor between and amongst members who are actively involved in their businesses of the day. And as Speaker of the House of Reps, I would have periodic sessions with the Nigerian people. If you like, call it an open day, but I call it an open governance program that allows for feedback mechanisms, opinion directly from the people as it affects them. Like it's often said, as our faces are different, so are our needs and our opinions. Diverse as they may seem, they could be filtered to be a component of the making of bills and motions that answers to the yearnings and aspirations of the Nigerian people. They also have a platform that allows the executive and the legislature to interface and share ideas of policies and programs, so that there is a cordial relationship. It doesn't take away my power as a speaker over public funds to ratify treaties and appropriation, power of oversighting the executive. It doesn't make me a rubber stamp leader. Rather, it promotes a cordial relationship that enables the executive know when they are in check and to prevent any sort of executive rascality or a situation where motions emanating from the House of Representatives are not treated with the desired or the necessary action, as it were, from the executive. So that would be a thing of the past. What is important is that we have a more efficient system. I feel that the House should have, in one of the existing structures, already carve out what you can call the National Assembly Members Club, since we can't call it a mess. Where after work, members and constituents and agencies and fallout of engagements during committee works can be discussed. I believe that the party zones because of people. You don't zone to the bush, you zone to individuals. I am strongly convinced that the party will zone this office to the Southeast and to my person, if that is the best thing to say. You don't have it easy to get a candidate to this office who is an all-in-one pack. That's what I offer. I am the candidate for the youth, I'm candidate for the women, I am a Christian, I am from the Southeast, I am ranking. You don't get this 5 in any of the aspirants or candidates to this office.
On the legislative terms and tools segment this week, we define the phrase supplementary budget. Let's turn to Chair of the House Committee on Rules and Business to do the honors.
For example, if the budget was premised on, say, $80 per barrel, and suddenly there was an increase or decrease. If there's an increase in the price of crude, now the executive now review its priorities. Now that there are no more money now available, it will change its priorities and then submit additional requests to the National Assembly. That makes it supplementary. Or it may be otherwise. If the budget was premised on, say, $60, and now petrol is selling for $40, so government will now also change its priorities to make it more realistic. It will now bring a supplementary budget, now to change its priority to say that, okay, fine, the previous budget was premised on $60 per barrel. Now petrol is selling $40. So we are not doing this, we are not doing this, we are only going to do that. Because once it's an appropriation act, it has become law, and if you violate the law, it has serious consequences. So the government will now quickly say, okay, because it's an act, we've changed our priorities. So give us another appropriation act in line with the present reality. So it will go through the first reading, second reading, it will be debated and then passed. Then it will supplant the previous budget so approved.
It is now a matter of weeks to inauguration of the 10th House of Representatives, with many awaiting the zoning of leadership positions by the majority party. We asked some Nigerians on the streets of Abuja if principal offices should also be gender zoned. Here's what we got.
Women can be speaker, women can be Senate president, even women can be the president of the Republic of Nigeria. If they can give woman opportunity, it's excellent, it's very good.
No. Women affairs and everything, they will zone it to women, but not the 10 National Assembly. It's men now.
If a woman could not get the speaker, like deputy, it's not bad for them to start from. A woman is fit for that position. A woman is fit for that position, and a woman will perform her heart well.
To me, to my own opinion, National Assembly, yet, is too big for women because Nigeria has not taken the shape that women can come and rule us. We have to tell ourselves truth.
I tell you, the next few weeks look like they will be intriguing. Well, that's been you and your reps for this week. We thank you for watching. I'm Victor Azu. Join us again.